Hey guys, I'm back, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a movie review on Inside Out 2. This is, you guessed it, a sequel to Inside Out. It was released in 2024. It stars Amy Poehler, Maya Hawke, and Phyllis Smith. In this movie, the headquarters inside of the mind of newly minted teenager Riley undergoes a sudden demolition to make room for something entirely unexpected: new emotions. Before we start with this review, I want to say I'm so sorry for how incredibly late this review is. I said on Tuesday this review would be coming out on Wednesday, then on Wednesday I said I would delay it to Thursday, and now here we are on Friday. An entire week after the movie came out. I am so sorry, there is no excuse for this. I promise this is not something that you have to start expecting. This is something that I'm going to fix. I am not going to start uploading reviews this long after the film comes out. Anyway, in my last review, which was Madam Web, I ditched the whole the positives and negatives thing, and from that one review alone, it's not for me, so I'm going to go back to doing the positives and negatives thing. I'm just more of a fan of the structure of that. So without further ado, let's begin with this review, and let's start talking about the positives. And the first thing to say here is that Inside Out 2 continues doing what made the first movie work so well. It keeps the creativity, the intelligence, and the overall magic of the first movie, resulting in an entertaining sequel that I firmly believe will satisfy fans, and it clearly has already done that because the movie's been out for a week now. Inside Out is such a clever film that just has this distinct Pixar magic to it, and all of the elements that made it work as well as it did, the humor, the heart, the charm, the creativity, the overall magic, like I said, all of that is in this movie, which is what you want to see in a sequel. I think the things that people loved about the first one are in this movie. It's 90 minutes, it pretty much doesn't let up throughout its runtime. It's just a really entertaining movie. And it's Inside Out. The characters in this movie continue to be likable and very well done, and the new characters are worthy additions as well. You've seen from the first movie how great the main emotion characters are, and they continue to be great in this movie, but the new emotions are good additions. In particular, the character of Anxiety. I was very happy with how Anxiety was treated in this movie, because as you will know from seeing the trailers, Anxiety is more or less the antagonist of this film, but what you don't want them to do with the character of Anxiety is just treat it like this completely evil being that is just evil and makes everything worse. All I'm going to say is they don't do that. I was very happy with the way they treated the Anxiety character. All the stuff that went on with that character was very well done in my opinion. So the emotions continue to be great. The new emotions are good additions. I wasn't a massive fan of Envy, but she's still not bad. And along those same lines, the voice acting for the emotion characters in particular, very well done. Maya Hawke in particular, definitely a highlight as Anxiety. Another thing I thought this movie did really well is that the character of Riley and the human story is well done and fleshed out enough to be interesting, and it's more of a major focus this time around, resulting in a good balance between the human and non-human plot lines. Because what you want in an Inside Out film is a good balance between the human and the emotion character storylines. I thought that the balance in this one was slightly better than in the first one, and Riley has a bit more of a character arc and there's a bit more of a focus on her, and the story is very much focusing on her, and I thought all of that worked really well. It is great to see that in an Inside Out film. And of course, it's Pixar. All of this is done with stunning animation. What is there to say about Pixar's animation at this point? Really beautiful looking stuff. I really can't elaborate on that. Just Pixar's animation continues to be top tier. And also something that is really nice to see in this film is that this sequel justifies its existence. It goes in the logical direction for an Inside Out sequel. Realistically, this is the next step you're going to take in this franchise, and I appreciate how it feels like a natural continuation of the first movie. Some sequels have the issue where they do not feel like a natural continuation of the first movie. Moving on to negatives, I'm an idiot, so I don't know how to word this, but the film feels a little bit kind of insignificant, if you know what I mean. You don't know what I mean, let me try explain it. The film isn't really anything more than the characters from the previous movie and also new characters going on an adventure, and it doesn't feel as impactful as the first movie, which may disappoint fans. I said that I feel like the film will satisfy fans, but I feel like this particular element of it may disappoint a couple of people. Obviously, the first movie was emotions going on an adventure in Riley's mind, and that is also a major part of the story in this movie. But with the first film, it felt like the final messages and its key themes that it was all leading up to, it just all felt a bit more emotionally impactful than it does in this movie. And this film has key themes and final messages and stuff, but again, it just doesn't feel quite as emotionally impactful as the first movie did, and I feel like it's just not as well done as the first movie in that regard. As a result, I feel like some of the film can come across as feeling a little bit empty, for lack of a better term, and the story also has several cliches, specifically with the Riley plotline, even though I think the balance between the human stuff and the emotion character stuff is well done, and I think that the human character plotline is well done. I think it has a few too many cliches, and it gets to the point where it's like, you know exactly where this is going, and the story becomes a bit annoyingly predictable, and a lot of it like really lacks subtlety, but it's Inside Out, so there isn't really much subtlety to a lot of it. But yeah, long story short, even though I liked the balance between the human character plotline and the emotion character plotline, and I thought the human character plotline was well done, I think there are several flaws with it that just really impacted the film negatively for me. I just think it's too cliched and predictable, and it just became a bit annoying. But it's a kids movie, so it's kind of expected. Still, that really stuck out as a major issue to me. Overall, this is just me. I don't know if it will turn out this way, but I think Inside Out 2 is going to fit nicely in line with the other Pixar sequels that have come out a while after the previous entry. Finding Dory, Incredibles 2, Toy Story 4, where the previous entries were incredible films. People consider them to be incredible films, and they like the sequel less because it doesn't live up to how incredible the first movie is. This film is very entertaining, but there's no denying that it doesn't come close to the first movie, but I think it sits nicely alongside the first movie as a solid follow-up to it, as opposed to living up to the first movie. I think Inside Out 2 is a flawed but really solid follow-up to the first movie that keeps the elements that made the first movie work so well. It's got great voice acting, beautiful animation, and a well-done story, and a good balance between the human character story and the emotion character story, like I keep on saying. And I am very glad that that is the case in Inside Out 2. I'm giving Inside Out 2 a 7 out of 10. I'm sorry for how unbelievably short and not in-depth this review was. Due to circumstances beyond my control, I had to get this review done pretty quickly. Really sorry about that. Let me know how you feel about the length of my reviews, because all my reviews recently have just been really short, and I've been meaning to do longer, more in-depth reviews, so they will come soon. They will come soon doesn't sound right as a sentence. They will happen soon. Anyways, thank you very much for watching this review. If you did enjoy, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you want to. If you have seen this movie, feel free to let me know your thoughts on it in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.